Hi there. This video on the limits of conventional agriculture and science is the second in a series dealing with agrobiocultural diversity and agroecology. Uh, and this one is looking at why we need to be concerned about that topic. So if we look at conventional agriculture, what we call conventional is a little bit misleading. This is the modern form of agriculture. Um, you might think it'd make more sense to call traditional agriculture conventional, but for whatever reason, that's not the way that term's used. And conventional agriculture is highly dependent on scientific research and development, and it relies on a model of adoption and diffusion. So once new discoveries are made in science, those are applied in the field, and farmers are expected to adopt the latest innovations. And there's an intentional neglect and even degrading of local or folk knowledge about how to farm, because the assumption is old ways of farming are inferior, they're less efficient, and ultimately less profitable. And so the science behind this, conventional science, is largely carried out at land-grant universities, uh, where we find research hubs that are often funded by large corporations. Of course, corporations have their own research divisions, independent of the university system, but they oftentimes work in partnership. And so examples of large land-grant universities are Michigan State, Purdue, Ohio State, Penn State, University of Minnesota, and Cornell. Cornell actually has a private and a public portion to it. Here we're talking about the public part. And there's varieties of animal and crop agricultural sciences that have been developed since the late 19th century. And the goal has always been to help farmers. At least initially, the goal was almost exclusively to help agricultural families survive by giving them the latest technology, but it's morphed from a pro-family to a pro-corporation endeavor, as a lot of this research is now for the benefit of corporations who profit from that research rather than family farms who might benefit. Examples of some of these conventional sciences, within the animal realm, poultry, swine, cattle, sheep, horse, and aquaculture are all fields of study. And related fields are biology, physiology, genetics, breeding, behavior, nutrition, also pre-vet and vet schools. And you'll tend to find most of these at land-grant universities. Within the crop sciences or agronomy, we find soil science, agrology, genetic modification or genomics or biotech, horticulture, turf management, irrigation management, waste management, chemistry, and botany. And then related to both of those are the fields of entomology, nematology, food science, weed science, plant pathology, microbiology, environmental science, water management, as well as agricultural economics, marketing, anthropology, geography, sociology. You might add rural sociology, philosophy. All those have interconnections. Some of those you might be surprised at towards the end, the social sciences, but if you really want to master the adoption and diffusion process, you have to understand people. And so there is some emphasis there on, there's still some emphasis on adoption and diffusion. That's been the driving force. How do we get farmers to actually use the newly innovated technologies in these agricultural fields where we have this robust research going on? And so knowledge is developed in university laboratories. It's handed down to extension officers. They go out into the communities, and their knowledge, their technology is then transferred to community members. The assumption is these community members have nothing of value to offer them. So it's a one-way transfer, and the farmers get to, examine or evaluate the results of the new technologies to see if they had increases in yield or whatever goals they have in production. And this is very much a productivist agricultural approach. But there are some limitations. As we mentioned, the AD model assumes farmers become successful only after adopting modern technology. And in some cases, the opposite is true. This does imply that local knowledge has no value, but a lot of times local farmers have intimate knowledge of local ecosystems that don't jibe with one size fits all research. And a lot of conventional science is exactly that, one size fits all. It's not sensitive to local ecosystem variation. Uh, so, the notion that local farmers stand in the way of progress is actually unfounded in many cases. It also downplays the risks and troubles associated with the very narrow agrobicultural base. It's not diverse at all. And that lays us open to, again, risks that might come about from drought, from different types of insect invasions or plant invasions, fungi infections, such as that which led to the Irish potato famine historically. You never know which calamities around the corner. And if you're relying on only one type of crop, if that crop falls prey to something, your entire crop is lost because you don't have any kind of diversity. If you think about a stock portfolio as an analogy, a good financial advisor will tell you to have a diverse range of stocks. You don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket, as they say. However, that logic is lost on conventional farming, where they do encourage you to put all of your eggs in one basket. And what happens if that basket breaks? All right, so that's it. We're going to come back with another video after this. Thank you.